Time now for The Real Estate Connection with Stephen Theard, a realtor and certified probate and real estate specialist. Whether you're a first-time homebuyer or a seasoned investor looking to downsize, move up, or refinance, this program is for you.
A house in the middle of our street. Something tells you that you've got to move in the middle of our...
From probate sales to landscape design to home repairs and maintenance, this is your weekly look into all things real estate. Now your host for The Real Estate Connection, Stephen Theard.
Hey everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Real Estate Connection, brought to you by Good Patriot Realty. A salute to home ownership. Thank you for joining me on today's episode. Hey, we're going to talk about a few things that I think you're going to find very interesting and things that you need to be aware of if you are in the real estate market in any way, shape, or form. We will be covering, unfortunately, theft and fraud risk in real estate. And we're going to be covering all areas. We're going to be covering buying a home, selling a home, or renting a home, and what you need to look out for in the process. So if you're new to the program and you don't want to miss another episode, go ahead and sign up and subscribe through Apple Podcasts. Just look for The Real Estate Connection on Apple Podcasts. You will see the logo if you're not watching the show live right now. The logo, which is The Real Estate Connection with Stephen Theard as your host. It's a blue square with a picture of a guy in a cowboy hat and a blue gray jacket and a blue shirt. Pretty easy to identify if you're looking for The Real Estate Connection, or you can find us on Spotify and iHeartRadio. That's right, Spotify and iHeartRadio. The show is actually published also on my YouTube account once we're complete, and so you can find The Real Estate Connection on YouTube. Just type it in, The Real Estate Connection, and you'll see the logo there too. So without any further ado, we're going to jump right on in. Oh, by the way, if you have any real estate related questions, feel free to contact me at 408-472-0817. I happen to just be also the broker owner of Good Patriot Realty, and I'd be happy to help you with any of your real estate needs. I know there's some people going through transitions out there looking to downsize. I'm working with a few clients that unfortunately are looking to move due to issues related with loss of family members. If you're in that position at all and you're dealing with either probate or trust issues, I am a certified probate real estate specialist, and I do help people in the area of probate and with the sale of homes that are going through the probate process. And also I can help you with your house if you're in a trust. There's trust documents and there's actions that are given to the executor or trustee in regards to the sale of real estate, and I'd be happy to assist you with those matters as well. Or if you're just looking to get into real estate for the first time as a new homeowner, or you're looking to downsize or upgrade because your family's growing, feel free to reach out and contact me. Hire somebody in the profession, 17 years and climbing, and who has the experience and knowledge to get you through all the ups and downs and to avoid risk like we're talking about today with theft and fraud in real estate. Again, 408-472-0817, California DRE number 017-00019. So unfortunately, theft and fraud does rear its ugly head from time to time in real estate. So there are inherent risks in buying and purchasing a home. However, a solid real estate professional can help you avoid these issues. So what are we talking about as far as issues are concerned? We're going to jump into the first category, and that is home sellers. So when you've got your home listed for sale, on the open market, where John Q. Public will be walking through, hopefully with their real estate agent, or sometimes during open houses by themselves, there is some risk involved. And usually that is in the area of theft. So for those of you who are still living in your homes when you have them listed for sale, this is a bigger issue than for people who have moved out or cleared most of their stuff out. But um, it does bear it is worth mentioning, so that you can think ahead as you prepare to get your house for sale. So the first piece of advice is to put away anything that is of value that can walk out the front door under a coat or a shirt. And so in our world of technology, there are lots of devices, whether they're for your children or for yourself. You may be operating a business out of your house, working from home. You could have small laptops, additional cell phones, or tablets that are lying around that can easily walk out the front door. You could have collectibles or knickknacks or items that are of value or rare, jewels, or different sorts of collections where different pieces could go missing. First advice is to put those away. All right. Open houses are the biggest liability area when it comes to home selling. So thieves are opportunistic. They tend not to dig too deep, right? So they're going to be walking around. There's going to be a real estate professional in the house, maybe more than one. And so they're not going to be rifling through things. They're going to be just looking to see whether they can grab something, whether it's opening up a kitchen drawer, which a lot of people will do to see how they slide in and out if they're still working properly. They may see, see some floating cash in the drawer or change. You may have some silver that you've put into a drawer that you've forgotten about, and it could walk out the front door. Also, unfortunately, due to the drug epidemic that's going on in our country, we have some professional open house attendants type people who know how to act the part, dress the part, and walk into your house. One person will distract you by asking questions about the property, and then another person will go into the bedrooms and bathrooms and look into cabinets or medicine chests looking for opioids. All right. So there's an opioid addiction in the United States. And so people are looking for prescription drugs that can numb pain, not only for themselves, but also for them to sell. So if you've been through a recent surgery or you have some older medication from past medical procedures that you don't want walking out the front door, make sure you put those away, lock them up. I know for myself in the area that I've worked in, there have been these types of people that have gone through homes. And so it is a real thing that you need to be careful of. Pack away expensive or heirloom items, as some thieves can canvass homes looking to come back later, right? So it's not just opportunity for them to take it now, but if they're walking through and they see expensive things sitting out, they can be taking notes and come back later with a crew that try to take advantage of stealing your items. Generally speaking, realtors use an electronic lockbox. We call it a key safe. It is electronic. It's really difficult. You'd have to actually probably run over it with a truck in order to get a key out. So generally speaking, it's pretty safe to have your house locked up with a key in it. But be careful. Do lock your house when it's listed for sale, whenever you're coming or going. And you may want to let your neighbors know to keep an eye on it as well. Neighbors are great. They're great for that. They'll definitely let you know if something weird is going on. And the benefit of having those electronic key safes on your home is that it records everyone who opens it. So the realtor professional that you've hired, and that could be me, Stephen Theard, with Good Patriot Realty, 408-472-0817. We'll give a record of people coming and going. And there are some programs that we now have in place as well that set appointments so that you know who is going to be coming to your house, and what time they'll be arriving, so you have a nice record of who's coming and going, just in case something goes missing. All right, so let's switch gears and look at biggest issues for buyers. So, for buyers, in order for there to be a valid contract, there has to be an offer made in writing and an acceptance of that offer in writing and an exchange of funds in order for that contract to be valid in the state of California under contract law. So, what that means is when you are out and you find a house that you like and you write an offer on that property, it will be submitted to the listing agent. The listing agent will then take that offer, and if it's acceptable to the seller, they'll sign it. But in order for that offer to become legal and binding, you will have to put some skin in the game or money. And this is where fraud happens on the buying side of real estate. And unfortunately, it can be a lot of money. Now, most contracts require some form of deposit to be submitted to the escrow and title company, which is an independent third party that holds the funds until the contract has fully been executed, and then they've been given clear instructions to send money over to the seller from the buyer. Now, you would be sending probably anywhere from 2.5 to 3% of the purchase price into escrow. That normally takes place in what we call a wire transfer, where you go into your bank and instruct them to send the money electronically from your bank to the title company's bank. And when we're dealing with real estate in California, where everything is at a minimum of $500,000 or higher, and in the Bay Area, an average house is now $1 million, but in my example, we're using 800,000, right? $800,000. If you're going to wire over 3%, that's $24,000 in cash. Now, here's where the fraud comes in, where you need to be careful. Because there are all sorts of phishing scams and spy technology out there that will read your emails if you're using free public email services, either through Yahoo or Gmail. There's spyware out there that will grab and just read that email as it comes across. And they'll see the conversations going back and forth between you and your real estate professional. And they'll notice when you go into contract, and sometimes will even get who the title company is. And they'll send an email to you unaware that it's not actually coming from the title company, saying it's time for you to wire in your deposit. And it will look legitimate and feel legitimate, but be totally illegitimate with a fake, not a fake, but an actual bank account, but it won't be going to your title company. It will be going directly to the scammers. And this has happened in the industry, where then you send $24,000 in cash to what you think is the title company, and it turns out to not be the title company. And unfortunately, it's really difficult, if not impossible, to get that money back. So you're saying, Stephen, that's a big deal. $24,000 is a lot of money. How do we avoid these issues? And this is how we take care of it in the industry. Before you would wire any money, you make sure that your real estate professional contacts you and lets you know that this money is coming. That this request for money is coming in the door. So a realtor that you're working with, it could be me, Good Patriot Realty, 408-472-0817, 408-472-0817. Call me. Anyway, I would reach out and say, hey, the title company is about to send you, or I am going to send you wire instructions right now or within the next 30 minutes of where to send the money for the escrow. for your deposit. And a lot of title companies now will send a secure email where you have to log in, create a password, and go into their system where they provide the wiring instructions for you to then go to your bank. The key is you should be notified ahead of time that the instructions are on their way. And it shouldn't just show up out of the clear blue sky. And if it does, you need to contact your realtor and the title company to verify. And on top of that, even if you are notified by your realtor, it's not a bad idea to contact the title company representative directly to go over the instructions to make sure they are valid from that title company before you wire the money. This is very, very, very important because $24,000 is a lot of money. And there's no guarantee on you being able to get it back. So this is a really big deal. These are the things that cause lawsuits to happen because people, it's just money's hard to come by, especially in our economy now. You just really need to be careful. So again, you want to make sure that you verify with your real estate professional and the title company that the instructions are accurate and correct before you send the money over. And then after the money is sent, usually within 72 hours, there's a confirmation that's received by the title company saying that they've received the funds, and make sure that you get that confirmation from your real estate professional to have peace of mind that the money actually arrived safely. All right. Now, what are other schemes that happen in the real estate industry as buyers? No money should be transferred outside of the title and escrow company. Okay? You don't want to be sending checks directly to the seller. You don't want to do that. That is a big no-no in the real estate industry. Everything runs through the title company to protect both you and the seller. And I'm talking about you, the buyer, in this instance. Also, if you're working with a lender who's telling you that as part of your purchase for a property that you can get money back in cash from the loan that you're obtaining in order to buy a house, run as fast as you can away from that lender. It is very illegal to get money back on a real estate home loan purchase. That is not how they work. So if somebody's giving you a scam or some sort of information saying, hey, we're going to purchase this house for X amount of dollars, and I'm going to make sure that you get a kickback in cash of a couple grand here and a couple grand there. That is not right. Run from that lender, run from that real estate professional as fast as you can. Trust me, you don't look good in an orange jumpsuit. And based on what happened back in 2005, 2006, with the market crashing and all these loans and frauds and things happening, the real estate industry went through a major change, and the FBI was involved in lending fraud. So again, you do not, repeat, want to get involved with any schemes for getting money as a kickback as part of purchasing a house, and you do not want to be sending money directly to sellers as a buyer outside of the escrow process. Now, I promised you we were going to touch on everything, right? Not just home buyers, not just home sellers, but also renters. All right, so in a tight rental market where it's hard to find rental properties, right? You've got to be careful for the it's too good to be true scenario. So I've actually been touched by this. I haven't been harmed, but I've been touched by this. A few years ago, I had a listing in the Santa Clara area, and we took lots of great, fantastic pictures of the home, and it sold for a really good price. And if you want that same for you, give me a call, 408-472-0817, 408-472-0817. And after the close of escrow, I was getting phone calls a month or two later from people who were inquiring about renting the house. And lo and behold, on a uh, public website, which I will not mention, um, there were pictures from when the house was listed for sale saying that the house was for rent and it was at a really, really affordable price for the area that it was located in. And they were asking for applications and deposits. Excuse me. And this is where the fraud comes into play. When you see a property being rented that looks absolutely amazing, it's in a great location, and it's under market value for the area, and you think you've stumbled onto the Holy Grail, be careful. That's your number one red flag. Because what these scammers are doing is they're taking rental applications and asking for a deposit, or they're taking rental applications and approving your application right away and then asking for a deposit. And then you go to get the keys for the house and the person does not exist. It's all done remotely. It's all done online. Oh no, you don't have to come look at the property. Just send a rental application in. We'll do a credit check and look at you to see whether or not you qualify for the rent of this house. You send it in. You're really excited. You've maybe even driven by. And they come back right away saying, hey, yeah, you're approved. We love you guys. Come on in. Here, just send a deposit to this address by check or by Venmo or whatever, right? And you send that deposit in and they say, we'll meet you at this place and this time to hand over the keys and walk you through the house, and they never show up. So the old adage is, if it sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. Trust your instincts in the rental market. Generally speaking, there's a process to get into real estate, whether it's purchasing or selling. There's a process to get your money out. There's a process for you to get in, and there's a process to rent. You are going to meet people in person. They're going to do background checks. They're going to have you fill out applications. They're going to have you tour the property. They're going to have you sign off on documentation as to the how the property is in regards to its current condition, to make sure that everything that you see it as is the same when you leave. Then they're going to ask you for the money and hand you keys. It's all going to seem very process oriented. If processes are being skipped and steps are being skipped in any way, shape, or form in the real estate industry, that means something is amiss, and you should step back and start asking a lot of questions. And when you start asking questions and people stop responding to your questions, you've just either saved yourself a lot of hassle, a lot of time, or a lot of money. And that's generally speaking how it works in real estate, because so much money is involved. The asset itself is valued at a very high dollar amount, and there just is a lengthy process to make sure that everyone's protected in the coming in and the going out. You think it's hard to buy a car? If it's hard to buy a car or rent a car, it's going to be hard to buy a house or rent a house. It's always a process. So I just want to leave that with you. I know it's not a subject that's popular, but I think this would save you all a lot of time and a lot of headache and a lot of money. And with that being said, we're going to leave you with this. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. I repeat, do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. Real estate can be discouraging because it takes a while. Don't give up. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Call upon his name and he will show up and he will help because he's good that way. So I'm going to leave you with that. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. God bless you and your family. And thank you for joining me on another episode of the Real Estate Connection, sponsored by Good Patriot Realty. If you have any real estate questions and or looking for to hire someone to sell your house in this market or to help you purchase a house in this market, please call us at 408-472-0817. Again, 408-472-0817. And you can sign up for the podcast at Apple Podcasts, iTunes Radio, Spotify, and Podbean. All right, we'll see you next week on another episode of The Real Estate Connection.
This has been The Real Estate Connection with Realtor and Certified Probate and Real Estate Specialist Stephen Theard. Licensed Cal BRE number 0170019. For more information on this program, visit realestateconnectionradio.com. To contact Stephen directly, call 408-472-0817 or email info@realestateconnectionradio.com. And be sure to tune in next week at this time for The Real Estate Connection.